Hey, my fourth and fifth graders. All right, welcome to my video. We are going to talk about note naming today. When I know for fourth graders, we started talking about how to read notes on the staff and how to read music before we left school. So we're going to continue that because you guys are going to need to know that when you come back to school in August, hopefully, when we start recorders. And fifth graders, you're going to need to know it for when you get to middle school. You're going to need to know it when you get to middle school for sure, especially if you want to be in the band. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen. Before you even watch this video, I hope you watch the Every Good Boy Does Fine video. And I also hope that you watch the F-A-C-E bass video. So hopefully, like I said, you watched that already because we're going to kind of review that. And I need you to keep that in mind. So here I am going to share my screen with a whiteboard. Hopefully you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to draw. Let's see. I'm going to change the color, but I don't know how to change the color. So let's just stick with this. I'm going to draw 5 lines. Excuse the lines because they're probably really all over the place because I'm on my computer. Ooh, that looks so bad. Let's clear it. Let's try it again. 1 line, 2 line. They still look weird. 3rd line. Now, how many lines do I need in order to make the staff complete? Hopefully you said 5. You are correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 1 more. 5. So there's 5 lines and 4 spaces on the staff. And I'm going to draw this little thing. It looks a little weird, but does anybody remember what that's called? It is called a treble clef. Very good. So we're going to keep that in mind. Let's go back to me drawing. I'm going to draw a dot on the very first line. So remember, our first line and our first spaces always start at the bottom. So let's imagine that my whole hand is the staff because I do have 5 fingers. So the bottom would be the first, second, and we're going to take it on up, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then there's spaces in between your fingers. So we're going to pretend those are our spaces for the staff. So this is our first space, 2nd space, 3rd space, and 4th space, okay? So remember, we always start at the bottom. So if you watch the video, we're going to talk about the lines right now. If you watch the video, Every Good Boy Does Fine, I'm going to put a dot. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know I did that. I'm going to put a dot right here. Who can tell me what note that is? If you said E, you are correct because it's at the bottom. The very first note on the, well, not the very first note on the staff, but the bottom line on the staff is E. Every, okay? Keep that in mind. Now let's take it up. I'm going to draw another dot. Hopefully I can still draw here. On the 2nd line, I'm drawing a dot on the 2nd line. What note would that be? G, very good. So wait, I'm going to put here in this box, in the every box. What says, let me see if I can just add it. Yeah, I could. All right, so this one, I need another text box. We said this was G, so every 2nd line, good. Remember, we're only dealing with the lines right now. We're not going to the spaces. Let's take it up to the 3rd line. 3rd line. Here we go. Here's our circle. And what might that note be if it's on the 3rd line? How can you remember it? I know for me, I think about the song all the time. Every good boy does fine. Whatever those words start with, that's the note on the staff, okay? So for instance, we only going to focus on the E, but for us to remember, we say every, okay? So for this one, every good, what's third? Boy, correct. So put boy. Well, I'll put boy here. And we're going to keep going all the way to the top of the staff, okay? So let's go ahead and do the fourth line. Fourth line. The fourth line would be every good boy. So start at the bottom. Every good boy, what? Fourth. Does. Good job. And I'm actually going to bring out my lines a little more for our very last line, okay? So I need you all paying attention to this because you're going to have to do an activity on your own after I'm done. So let me move. I'm still learning this, y'all. Don't be laughing. Oh, good, I got it. So I'm going to put these right underneath their actual. Oh, oh no. Okay, so this one doesn't want to act correctly. But we know this one, that's every, okay? I still can't move it. Okay, let's move on. Let's go ahead and put our dot at the very top, the fifth line, the last line on the staff. What would that one be? All right, so we're not gonna focus on that because obviously Miss Whitfield messed it up, but it's every good boy does last line. What is it? Fine, very good, fine. Good, every good boy does fine. So I want you to keep that in mind. And if, as you're watching this, you can do it on your own on a sheet of paper. Hopefully you're already doing that because like I said, you're going to need to know this stuff for the activity that I have planned after. So I'm going to actually clear this, but I'll leave it up here for you to copy if you would like. I'll give you about a minute. Hopefully everybody's doing awesome during this time. I know it's a lot going on and we have to stay inside, but it's just to keep everybody safe. You, your parents, your sister, your brother, whoever. It's just for you guys to all stay safe. So I want you to hang in there, especially my fifth graders. I know we probably won't see you again, but know that I'm still thinking about you and I miss you guys. And I'm really sad we didn't get to do the black belt, but you guys have done an amazing job on those recorders. So remember that, okay? All right, I'm going to clear this. And I'm going to draw another staff. Sorry, that was a mess. So let's draw it again. Still a mess. One line. And how many lines did I say I needed? 5, correct. 3, 4, 5. And I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, okay? So I'm going to draw my treble clef. Ooh, that one came out much better. And we're going to talk about the spaces now, which should be super easy because our spaces spell the word face, 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 facey, face, face. I love that song, don't you? So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to try to find, okay, here we go. The circle. I'm going to put the circle. Remember, again, our first space our first space, again, always starts at the bottom. Always starts at the bottom. So pretend like your hand is up and your spaces start at the bottom, okay? In between your fingers, not on the finger, but in between for the spaces, okay? All right, so here we go. I'm going to draw my first circle in the space. And you know what? I'm just going to continue drawing the other circles as well in the spaces. Third space and the very last space, okay? All right, so let's start with this one. What note would that be? What letter note would that be? If it starts at the bottom, Think about how to spell the word face. Face. Think about how to spell it. What's the first letter in the word face? F. Good job. So F would go underneath there, okay? Next one, the second space. This is super easy. Second space, what note name would this be, or what letter name would that be? Second letter in face is A. Good job. Third space, I know it looks a little funky right here, but you get the picture. Third space, third letter in the word face is C. Good job. I'm going to move this over because it's bothering me. There we go. And our very last space, which can be tricky because we can't hear this particular letter in the word face. So it's silent. So what letter would it be? F-A-C-E. Awesome job. Awesome job. So I'm going to bring this over for you guys to see a little better. There we go. There's our face, okay? So I'm going to have you go ahead and copy this down if you haven't already, because it's going to help you out for our activity. I'll give you about a minute, 30 seconds. Face, 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 face. All right, cool beans. So we're going to leave that there. I'm going to actually undo all of the notes that I just did, and I'm going to go back to the lines really quickly. And I'm doing this for a reason, okay? All right, so we said, first of all, I want you to tell me what line this is on. Is it on the first or the last line? Hopefully you said first, because it is on the first line. And what would that line be? Remember our lines is every good boy does fine. So what would be on that? What would this letter name be? E, good. So E. Move this over a little bit. Right there. Now, we're not going to go up the staff anymore. I'm actually going to draw a new note. And this particular note, I need you paying attention for this one because it's going to be on your worksheet that you're going to do. I'm drawing it underneath the E line. Underneath the E line. Now, you don't even really need to know about why it's underneath there. All I want you to do is think about, if we have E here, what letter in the alphabet comes before E? Because it's at the bottom. So what letter comes before E? A, B, C, D. You got it. So this particular note would be D. Okay? So anytime it's underneath the E line or the first line, if there's a note underneath that E line, you're just going to go back in the alphabet to see what it is. So it's D, okay? And I think that's all I want to show you for this one, okay? So you can copy the D down right here. This is our low D because we have a higher D here, but fourth graders, you'll get more into that when we start recorders. So hopefully you have this down because I'm going to clear this. And I am going to stop sharing. Hey. All right, the next thing that I want to show you is your worksheet that you're going to do. Now I'm going to explain a little bit about it, and I'm going to screen share my screen again. All right, so our activity that we're going to do is called I Thought I Was Crazy. It says decode this wacky rhyme and learn your note names at the same time. Write the note names in the blanks below the notes to solve the puzzle, and then read the rhyme out loud. So what you're going to do, I'm going to post this on the discussion board, and you're going to number this one, for instance. This will be number 1. I woke up this morning and jumped out of, excuse me, we'll do this one together, okay? So you can say I gave you the answer for this one. Now you can't click on here and type anything. You're going to have to write it on a sheet of paper and then put it on the discussion board, okay? So if I look at this, and also you can use your notes that you copied. This is why I asked you to take notes, okay? So if I look at the very first note, I'm looking, it's on a line. I'm seeing it's on a line. Am I correct? Thank you. All right, it's on a line. Now, which line is it on? 1, 2, 3. It's on the 3rd line. Now, think about the song. Every good, what? Boy. So we will put a B here, okay? B. Next one. Let's find out what the word is. You may can even guess it without even looking at the notes. We have B, first line, E. And remember, this is our note below the E line. As you can see, it's not on a line or a space. It's just hanging. So the letter before E in the alphabet is D. So the answer is, I woke up this morning and jumped out of B, E, D, bed. So you'll put number 1, bed, okay? And you'll do the same. Let's do one more together, okay? This will be number 2. It says, I thought that I was crazy going out of my, they already gave you an H because there's no H in music, okay? So if you ever play piano or violin or any instrument like that, there will never be an H, okay? So we'll start, you'll write H next to number 2, just so you don't get confused. So H, first line, E. Is this on a line or a space? This note. It's on a space. Is it on this first or second space? Second space. So what's the second letter in the word face? Remember, our spaces spell the word face. Please don't forget that. Spaces spell the word face. What's the second letter in face? A, right? So you write an A. And remember, we went over this one. It's underneath the E line. So what is it? D, right? So we have, I thought that I was crazy going out of my H, E, A, D. What does that spell? Head, your big head, yes. So you'll put number 2, head. Number 1 will be bed, okay? So the first 2 lines reads, I woke up this morning and jumped up out of bed. I thought that I was crazy going out of my head, okay? So I'm gonna stop sharing this, and you're gonna do this on the discussion board, okay? I'm gonna post all of this whole video. Hopefully you watched it from the beginning to the end, and make sure you take notes. You can restart the video if you want to. You can go back, whatever you need to do, pause it, whatever you need to do to take your notes so you'll be able to answer these questions, okay? All right, so if I think that's all I have, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Good luck. If you have any questions, just write me on Schoology or whatever you need to do, okay? So good luck. Bye-bye.